I'm your host, Welcome 23. You're joining me for Blades of Light and Shadow, Chapter 13, City of Wonders. 2 days after defeating Xenia and collecting the third Onyx Shard, you and your friends walk together through Undermount. Are you sure I can't convince you to stay a little longer, Tyrell? I'm afraid not. We have urgent business awaiting us in Whitetower. Besides, I know how Star Fury is in good hands. Puts a hand on his sister's shoulder, and she gives him a small smile, a hint of sadness still in her eyes. Father and I were glad to have seen you home. The next time you return, the man will be in a much better shape. So we're in the game, right? We get these shards to the temple where they got the fourth one. The priest performs his ritual, and boom, the Shadow Court is banished forever. Yeah, and Kate is freed. It's finally happening. We've been on this adventure for so long. I could hardly believe it's nearly over. Nearly over? We've still got to get all the way to Whitetower, and I do not want to tramp through the Deadwood again. Just leave that to me. Tyrell leads you through a pair of heavy doors to an outcropping outside of the Undermount. There, waiting for you atop a large pillar of hay are... The hell is this? A drake. What are those? You approach one of the shimmering, iridescent creatures perched by the cliff's edge. It's as large as a horse and stares at you with wild, speedy eyes. We call them drakes. Majestic, aren't they? Only the wealthiest Undermount nobles can afford them. The Council of Houses insisted we lend them to you to take you to Whitetower. It's the least they can do after everything. They're tame, right? One of the drake's eyes smiles suspiciously and clacks its beak. Same to you, bud. Well, they listen to me, anyway. Other people might need a little work to earn their trust. And Tora already has her arm around one, gently stroking it. Oh, you are a beautiful beastie, aren't you? Pet the drake. You approach your drake slowly, hands upturned. It turns its head to you, onyx eyes blinking. Hey there, it's nice to meet you. I'm Rain. You're a beautiful creature, aren't you? The drake ruffles its feathers, preening for you. Would it be alright if I touched you? If you're gonna fly to Whitetower together, The drake bows its head, bringing it down within your reach. You stroke the drake's head, and it coos softly. Wow, I think it really likes you, Rain. I guess I don't have much of a choice about this, huh? What's this land rat scared of taking to the skies? It'll be fine, I promise. Travel by drake is very safe. Trust me, there are a few greater joys than riding a drake. And the faster we get back to the Whitetower, the sooner we can begin the purification ritual. Okay. I'll get on the flying bird thing. We only have 3 drakes, so some of you will have to pair up. Let us go with... Nia. Would you like to ride with me, Nia? That would be perfect. Climb on the drake's back, Nia sidles up in front of you. You wrap your arms around her. I take it this is your first time riding a drake. I've never ridden a horse, so how do we get it to fly? In Rollis von Taro. And with a mighty roar, the drake takes off into the sky. You tighten your arms around Nia, letting out a whoop as your stomach swoops. Woohoo! The drake bursts through the clouds and then steadies out, feathers rustling as it glides. You gasp at the sight. By the gods. It's amazing. The wind rakes through your hair as you swoop and soar high above the realms. You settle in against your drake's sturdy back, holding Nia close. As the clouds part, you gaze down at the lands below, sprawling forests, winding rivers, and magnificent mountains. Beautiful beyond words. I might get to share this with you. Really? You rest your chin on Nia's shoulder. She flushes, glancing away. Really, this is a once-in-a-lifetime moment, and there's no one else I'd rather be with. Nia smiles, leaning back against you. You make me so happy, Rain. happy in ways I didn't think I could be. Like riding on the back of an amazing drake while gazing at the beautiful beauty of the world. For starters. Grinning, you nuzzle up against her. Soon enough, you make out the dazzling spires reaching up towards you from the sprawling city below. Your friend's voice reaches you over the rush of wind. Home sweet home. Jiggity jig. There's the Temple of Light. You hug your drake tight as it spreads its wings as far as they can go, gliding down to the city. I can't help but notice we seem to be flung towards the palace. But of course, that's where the drakes have been trained to land. They typically ferry envoys on matters of great importance. Would this be a bad time to mention that I may not be on, shall we say, the best of footing with Whitetower law enforcement? There's someone on the terrace. Is that... Welcome, friends! Oh, it's our princely boys. Your drake lands gracefully on the palace terrace, and you sling your leg off its back. Prince Aaron rushes forward to help you down. Let me give you a hand, Rain. Prince Aaron, we didn't know you were meeting us here. A dove arrived this morning from a lady, Adrena Starfury, that we would be receiving visitors. When I read the names, I knew I had to greet you. He smiles around at all of you, looking delighted to see you again. You're welcome, of course, to stay at the palace as my guests. The palace, you say? No stealing. You do know I'm an orc, right? And under the impression we weren't exactly welcome here. Well, after all we went through back in the Dreadwood, it's the least I can do. No one will look twice while you're under my protection. So, kiss his cheek. Lean in and kiss him on the cheek. I've missed you. I've missed you too. He clasps your hand in his, looking deep into your eyes. I hoped our paths would cross again, but I hadn't imagined it would be so soon. I'm honored to welcome you into our home. Anything you want, I'm happy to provide. Mal rolls his eyes, just a little. You seem different since we last saw you. More confident. Perhaps you've been rubbing off on me. Aaron leads you through the terrace doors into the palace proper as servants scurry out of your way. I've spent my whole life in Whitetower, and I've never seen the inside of the palace. It's beautiful. I've arranged some rooms for all you in the palace. I hope they're to your liking. I'm sure I can suffer through it. Dora looks around at your surroundings, not nearly as impressed. You humans and your marble. Do you ever get sick of it? We can't all build our cities out of wood and tusk. Nothing wrong with wood and tusk. Aaron leads you through a series of doors to a lovely room. I chose this one for you, Rain. It reminded me a bit of your character, steadfast and comforting. That's incredibly kind. I appreciate the generosity, Aaron. He beams back at you and offers you a deep bow. Nothing at all. Feel free to take some time to freshen up. The High Priest of Light will meet with you soon. Aaron leaves to show you the rest of the party to the rooms, and you wander into the spacious suite. Threp at your side. Look at these giant paintings, and the statuary, fireplace, the poster bed. When I was alive, humans were living under troughs and fighting with sharpened sticks. This race has come quite far. I wish my brother were here to see it with me. You sit on the bed, and Threp flutters up beside you, letting you out of purr. With any luck, he soon will. Your journey nears its end, after all. That's hard to believe. It feels like we've been on this quest forever, and now we've suddenly almost done. I know you'll be missing my company immensely when this is all over. Who says I'm letting you go anywhere? I kind of like having an Esper around, even if he's a wise mouth. You flop down on the gargantuan featherbed, letting out a sigh as you stare at the mural painted on the ceiling. Do you really think the ritual will work? Well, I can't speak much to skills of these human priests, but Nia seemed quite confident in the ritual herself, and if she's confident, then so am I. Scratch Thrap behind an ear, and he purrs contentedly. Thanks, Ram. You always know what to say. Well, usually. Sometimes? I'll take it. Something catches your eye on the mantelpiece. Huh. You hop off the bed and head to the fireplace, where you find a lore tablet tucked behind a decorative silver plate. Oh, God help my vocal cords today. This tablet will tell you all about combat magic marriage among the races of Morella and award some bonus EXP. I should take it. Well, this could be useful. Still have one more to go. Send help. You turn the tablet over in your hand and start reading. I'm gonna go through this as fast as humanly possible. Godspeed to anyone watching. Military humans. Human military strategy is largely based around the notion of specialization and coordinated strategy. Human soldiers are grouped by affinity, such as archer, infantry, and cavalry. Rather than emphasizing the skill of any one individual, human military tactics focus on numbers and coordination. Each soldier is just one part of a larger whole, and then the other often overwhelm, outmaneuver the opponents. As such, the most revered members of the human military, not fighters, but generals, brilliant tacticians whose strategies led to great victories. Elves. Much like elven combat, the elven military is structured around magic. One role is to determine first and foremost by skill. The strongest serve on the front lines as battle mages. Those weaker in skill lay support behind them, whether by laying down offensive fire or healing the wounded. The motto of the elven military is Deshala el Zanata, death before dishonor. It is believed that surrender or retreat is a deep slight against honor, and elves should always be willing to die before yielding. Orcs. Whether or not orcs have a military is something of an academic debate, which is true. They often fight together, either as members of a crew or unified as an armada. Orcs lack the traditional hierarchies and coordination associated with militaries. Orcish culture devalues individuality above all else. As such, the field of battle is seen as a prime place for any individual to prove themselves and their skill. An orcish attack is one of dozen fighters, each competing to prove the most glorious. There are advantages and disadvantages to the approach. On one hand, it tends to produce the weakest or the greatest warriors in the world, while the legendary Venestra, who single-handedly commandeered a human warship with just an axe and a length of rope. On the other hand, the lack of coordination can often lead to chaos. It is not unheard of for orcs of the same crew to turn on each other in mid-battle, eager for the chance of greater glory. Magic. Humans. Magic is a providence of the temple light. Their priests travel the land, seeking any children who display aptitude and bring them into Whitetower to join the faith. These priests may grow into priesthood and return to their homes, healing the sick and providing guidance to the light. There are a small number of humans who possess the gift of magic but do not serve the temple. Instead, they roam the land as witches, wizards, applying their services illegally for gold and a crime punishable by death. Elves. Magic is the lifeblood of elven society in the Undermount. Even the most basic of actions, such as growing food or dealing with waste, is done through the use of magic. Skill at magic is single most important quality an elf can possess. The key to advancement even in childhood is rigorous, grueling exercise in education and competition. Even in adulthood, one's social role is tied hugely to their magical skill. Elves that possess great skill may be battle mages, artificers, scholars. Those lacking serve menial roles. It is very rare for an elf born with a no magical affinity, called a Zendelani. These unlucky children are exiled at age 10. Bearing a Zendelani is seen as a terrible omen for a house. Orcs. Magic among orcs is exceedingly rare and manifests differently than in humans or elves. Or magic in orcs is organic, intuitive, less bound to study, and more to emotion. Orc magic typically comes from communion with the elements and manifests as a mastery over water, earth, and weather. So basically shamans. The greatest orc mage was known only as Stormbringer. She was said to be able to conjure typhoons large enough to sink galleons. Interestingly, while far rare, orc mages are actually more powerful than their human or elf counterparts. Elven scholars strongly dispute this. Of course they do. Marriage. Humans. All arranged marriages remain common with nobility. For most humans, marriage begins with a courtship between two people. This courtship culminates with one partner proposes to another, typically with a gift of a ring or a necklace. A wedding is then held in the town square. The town has a priest of light. He will officiate. If not, it is typically done by the local leader, such as a mayor or merchant. The wedding is a joyous affair with at least one night of wild festivities. Common traditions include a feast for all, the dance of chairs, and a drinking contest between the families. Elves. Among elves, marriage is a solemn and political affair. Alliances are proposed by house heads who then receive the consent of both parties. The two elves must demonstrate Kilvali through a series of trials, involving a month of isolation together, a journey to underground steps, and a demonstration of intimate knowledge of each other's lines. Less than a third of proposed couples complete the trial successfully. The marriage all happens on the same day, the lunar solstice. It is an elaborate ceremony spanning the whole day where all couples are joined. Following the ceremony is a 3-day period of celebration including masquerade, banquet, and a great display of magical prowess. Orcs. Orcs do not have a concept of marriage. The closest comparable custom is a ritual known as the joining of one, wherein two orcs who are especially close bind their souls together. It is sometimes undertaken by romantic partners, but just as often close friends or siblings. It is meant to ensure a lifelong bond that transcends clan or itself. The ritual involves the two orcs traveling to a remote island. There, the two must consume a sacred red anemone known to induce a spiritual hallucinogenic journey. Under the anemone's influence, the orc must live on the island for 3 days and partake in a great hunt of mammoth sharks that roam the isle's waters. It is said the ritual is extraordinarily intense and the two orcs will emerge with an unbreakable union or die in the process. Pets. Pets are common among all races of Morella. Humans are famous for adapting every pet or animal they see as a pet. Common animals include cats, dogs, birds, horses. Voxbirds are perhaps the most elevated pets, a sign of status among the nobility. Having famously lost their Vexpers to humans, elves have been reticent to adopt the other pets, seeing it as beneath them. However, many of the lesser houses have taken to the glowing fruit bats that populate the mountains' caverns and then have welcomed them into their estates. Orcs have a close affinity with a nautical life. They have been known to adopt dolphins, bristle crabs, and hawkstriders. The orcs of Red Foshti clan have been even known to domesticate sharks and ride them into battle. Done. You nestle in your cozy bed, closing your eyes while Threp curls up against you. Soon after, a guard arrives to escort you to the Temple of Light, where the High Priest of Light awaits your group.
Ah, here they are, the intrepid adventurers. I've heard so much about you. I'm Soloran, the High Priest of Light.
Soloran, it's so good to see you again. You all stand back as Nia rushes forward to greet the High Priest, who clasps her hands in his.
Nia, my child, I'm so glad you've been returned to us safely. My deepest condolences on the passing of Sholovash.
He lived a long and rich life of service. May the light forever guide his path.
May it do so indeed.
Nia produces 3 tightly wrapped bundles of cloth with a heavy satchel from a heavy satchel and sets them on the floor, where she unwraps them with precision. Here are the onyx shards. Please don't touch them with your bare hands. High Priest studies them from a careful distance, marveling as dark shadows swirl across their surfaces. My tongue and mind are still going 90 miles an hour, don't worry.
The energy on them so much darkness and terror. They're even more terrible than I'd imagined.
Will you be able to cleanse them? High Priest carefully turns one over, using cloth to cover his hand.
We have been poring over the ancient scrolls ever since we received your first message. Nothing is certain. But if the light blesses us, we shall succeed.
Those aren't really odds you can put your gold behind, are they?
The whole temple is working to prepare the ritual purification. We should be ready to perform it tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
You should make the most of your time here. Go out, see the city if you like. I'll send my acolytes to fetch you when they're ready.
High Priest, I have one more question about the ritual. High Priest studies you, kind-eyed.
Ah, you're the one whose brother was taken to the realm of shadow.
Will purifying the shards really bring my brother back?
It is impossible to say for sure, but it has never been attempted for the purpose before. However, in theory, it should work. The purification may even return all those who have been claimed by the Shadow Court.
I just want my brother back. High Priest smiles, sadly.
I understand your eagerness to be reunited with him, but the truth is we have no way of knowing the state he's in. Purifying the shard will deal a considerable blow to the Shadow Court. Is that worth the effort?
Not if it traps my brother in the process, or worse.
The only way to know for sure is to attempt it. I promise we'll do everything in our power to return him to you.
Thank you, High Priest. We look forward to joining you to complete the ritual. The high priest bows to you all, and you make your way out of the temple.
Well then, looks like we've got all day to kill in the city.
A pair of nobles walk by, shooting uneasy glances at Amtura.
This should be interesting.
I need to find a blacksmith to sharpen my blades. I don't know what awaits us on the other side of the ritual.
And I could use a nap.
As the others head off, you spot Nia sitting on a garden bench by herself, staring down at her hands. Nia, I thought you'd be happier about returning to the temple. Oh, I'm sorry, Rain. I didn't mean to make you worry about me. She musters a weak smile. I was just thinking about how strange it is to be back, especially after all the adventures we've had. How do you mean? It's nothing, really, just that I've never been away from the temple for so long, and now I'm back here and in my old life. I still want to serve the light, but I feel different now, too. Almost like I don't really want to go back. Are you wishing you hadn't been put into priesthood? Oh, no! I could never give up my service to the light. Not entirely. But there were a lot of things that made perfect sense when I was at the temple, and now I don't feel certain. She looks down at her hands for several long moments while she's hoping they'll have answers for her. I've always done exactly what the priest told me to do, but these past several months I've had far more freedom. The freedom to be myself, to make my own choices. Your eyes meet hers, and she blushes a little. And to be with you. After tomorrow, I'm not sure I could say goodbye to the rest of you and just go back to what my life was before. Too much has changed. It's more important to be true to yourself. I want to, but I still have obligations. To the light? Can't you find your own way to serve it while serving yourself as well? It's your life, isn't it? It's not really how being a priestess works. And what if serving the light best meant leaving the temple? Nea sighs heavily, pondering your words. When I left the city with Shalarvash months ago, I would have considered it unthinkable, but now... Thinkable? It's crossed my mind. It's going to exact, a heavy cost to purify the shards. Many of us will have to give a great deal of our light for the ritual. I wish there could be another way. Don't. It's our duty. It's why we're blessed with this power. And if I can play some small part in bringing Kate back, that's the least I can do. She smiles at you, looking more relaxed now. Thank you, Rain. I feel more ready for what's ahead. She stands, smile fading off her face as she heads away, lost in her own thoughts once again. Priestess has some heavy stuff on her mind. You jump and turn to see Mal standing against a pillar behind you. You're still here. I figure you would have already been out in the city swindling nobles and seducing countesses.
A little early for that, kid. Actually seems like me and the priestess have been thinking along the same lines about what's next for us. About where we've come from.
He scoffs, the sole of a shoe or boot against the ground, looking unusually troubled. Then you've come to me for what? My brilliant advice? Mal plucks a single rose from the palace bushes and takes a deep sniff, then nods in approval.
Let's just say I have some kind of business to attend to, and I wouldn't say no to some company. I'll never turn down a chance to get you all to myself, after all.
Sure, I'll join you. But where exactly are we going?
Well, I'll explain when we get there.
Mal leads you through the city, passing by sprawling plazas, elegant gardens, and busy markets, and soon enough, he's led you somewhere different. What is this place?
Welcome to the nooks and crannies, the forgotten corners of Whitetower.
Hey, it's Animal Crossing when you first start.
Where I was born and raised.
This is where you're from? He smiles sadly at you.
Not what you expected, huh?
Why did you come back? Mal twists the rose in his hands, staring down at the muddy streets.
No good reason. To remind myself where I came from, I guess. So I never let myself slip. so I remember how easily I could end up here again.
That doesn't sound like a great way to live.
Who said it was healthy? Just being honest, that's all.
Mal makes his way down the crumpled streets, and as you pass the residence, they refuse to look you in the eye, hurrying away with hunched shoulders. How old were you when you left?
Joined the Thieves Guild when I was 6, was part of the life for longer than I should have.
And then?
I left the guild when I was 20, look up adventuring, and never looked back.
You reach a muddy patch between the buildings where dozens of headstones cram together, marking shallow graves. Mal leads you through the rusty gates and stoops down for a weathered stone with nothing but a name carved into it. Mariah.
Hey, man. I brought a friend with me. This time, her name's Rain. I think you would have liked her.
He lays the rose down on the headstone, bowing his head, kisses his fingertips, and presses them to the stone.
Rain's a fighter, just like you were, and she always stands up for what's right. Figured you'd like to know I've got someone keeping me in line on your behalf.
You take a step back, giving Mal some space to grieve.
I still check in on Sis every time I come to Whitetower. She and the wife are doing good. I always did promise you we'd get out of here. 2 of 3 isn't so bad, right?
He takes a deep breath, blinking away a tear.
I just wish we could have saved you too.
After a moment's silence, Mal stands up and you head out of the tiny graveyard.
Well, I guess you know the truth behind Mal the Magnificent.
That he made it through a tough childhood to become a successful and charming rogue that he is now?
Successful and charming. Didn't know you thought so highly of me, kid.
Oh, hold on. I forgot to tag on aspiring vanquisher of the Shadow Court. Mal laughs, running a hand through his hair.
I guess someone who's trying to save the world really can come from a place like this.
And once the world's saved, where will you go next?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's been alright these past few months, but being a part of a group, a team. But I work alone. It's a necessity for me. Something I learned from getting too many knives in the back. It's a hard number to break.
So, then you'll go back to your lonely life of adventuring? You reach the end of the street along the river quays, and Mal turns away from you to stare out at the rushing water.
I guess we'll just have to see.
He turns back to you with a thoughtful look, but as he does, a harsh voice barks from nearby.
Boy, I knew you!
You look over to see an armored city watchman bearing down your way.
Oh, I thought your kind didn't come down here.
You're Malvorori, aren't you? You're with the Thieves Guild.
Haven't been in a long time, pal.
Yeah, well, there's a wanted poster with your face hanging in the guard station. I have a bounty on your head that'll buy me a damn villa.
He starts to draw a blade. Mal's hand flits to his dagger, but you step forward. Let me handle this.
I don't know who you are, but I recommend you get out of the way.
I recommend you see this. You raise your hand and show the guard the royal ring that Aaron gave you back in the Deadwood. Malvalry is here under the explicit protection of Prince Aaron. Here's his ring to prove it. Lay a hand on Mal, and you'll be answering directly to the prince. The guard eyes the sigil inscribed to the ring, then nods and backs off.
I don't know who you swung it, but you're free to go.
Damn right. But now that you mention, I could use an armed escort.
Don't push your luck. You and Mal walk away, leaving the befuddled guard shaking his head.
Looks like your little walk with the prince came invaluable after all.
What can I say? I'm great at making friends in high places. And laughing, the two of you walk back to the palace. When you return to the palace, Nia rushes up to you with a giddy smile on her face, dragging Tora behind her. But there you are. I have the greatest idea.
Hope it doesn't involve running into any more city gates. They're kind of testy at the moment.
Lifting a hand to wave over your shoulder, Mal heads for his room. Oh, he doesn't want to stick around to hear my idea? He has a lot to think about. But, what's got you so excited?
Priestess thinks she should take an orc out into the city of fancy hoity-toities.
The sun's setting, and I want us to go to the night market by the river. It's a heartbeat of, Whitetower, and not to be missed. It's, been so long since I've had a night in the city, and Dora's never been, and, well, it might be our last night together.
Don't hit me with that sentimental stuff. It makes me so much harder to turn you down.
I'd love to see more of the city myself. Come on, Dora, it'll be fun. There's the three of us on our own little adventure.
Ahem. 4 of us. Unless you plan on depositing me at the nearby, nearest pantry.
There's food and dancing.
Her eyes twinkle mischievously.
And drinks.
So now you mention the good stuff.
Nia leans in close to you with a conspiratorial grin. If anyone can persuade him, Tora, to change her mind on anything, it's us. What do you say, Rain?
Enjoy an outing at the night market with Tora, Nia, and Thrap in this exclusive scene.
Can I just say how divinely beautiful she is in that dress? Social quest. City slickers. Have a night out. After everything we've been through, I'd say we've earned ourselves to some time to enjoy ourselves. That's the spirit. Will you join us, Tora? There'll be ale there, gallons of ale.
Why didn't you say so before?
He laughs and leads you from the palace out into the city. As the sun sets over the city, you arrive at the bustling market. The sight of colorful paper, lanterns, and Santa flowers and delicious food stop you in your tracks. You weren't kidding, Nia. Is this what everyone does for fun here? Sure. You can find just about whatever you're looking for here at the market. Just then, a large party of well-coiffed and haughty nobles passed by, tittering about their latest gossip.
This is supposed to be fun, yeah, but everyone's looking like they're on their way to the damn reception at the court.
To the nobility, everywhere can be considered a court.
Exactly why I never showed my face here before.
It seems like you're judging before you get to lay on the land. Any recommendations, Nia? It looks like they're starting a dance in the main square. We could join them.
Hold on, I was promised my share of ale.
And I see a drink stand right over there.
We should have some drinks. Tora and Thrap cheers. You head for a small stand in the market's corner, where a vendor pours drinks from a barrel.
Finally, I haven't had a good drink in forever, and that weak-arsed elven wine doesn't count.
I rather liked it. No matter. Bottoms up.
Cheers. I would like a taste!
Wait. You and Tora clink your tankards together and chug your ale, while Nia and a few onlookers stare open-mouthed. Oh, that hits the spot. What's with the face, Nia? It's meant to be sipped? And Tora lets out a massive belch, and Thrap sticks his head into the tankard to look up the dredges at the bottom.
Priestess, no orc has ever sipped at their ale. My stars, this ale goes strong!
Thrap totters, and you quickly catch him before he can fall into the ale stand. You stroll through the market and come across an expensive dress shop filled with sparkling gowns and rare fabric. The nobles here love their fashion. Every season, there's a mad rush to get the latest style. Tora holds up a silk dress incredulously.
You humans give the elves a run for their money when it comes to being ostentatious.
Her eyes flit to a dark alley nearby where a beggar shivers in the cold.
If you've all got all the money for all this fancy stuff, why not share it around so everyone gets a chance to eat?
It's the will of the king. It's just how things are. And even without kings, it still is.
Yeah, well, it's not how things have to be. In Flotilla, we share the plunder, share the wealth. Everyone eats or no one does.
That's kind of nice. Reminds me a bit how people take care of each other in Riverbend. Right. Just because things always were one way doesn't mean they have to stay that way. When I'm a priestess, I have influence. I'll work to bring those values here.
Really? You tell the humans to live like orcs?
If it means more people get to eat, yes, absolutely.
You surprise me yet.
And you could surprise me by trying on that dress.
No.
Yes, come on, you know it's perfect for showing off those muscles.
Alright, I'm not gonna deprive you of a show.
Dora takes the hanger and drapes it over her shoulders, letting the dress hang down over her leathers.
It ain't half bad.
You hear some snickering from the other side of the shawl. Turning, you see two wealthy nobles staring at your group, whispering loudly to one another. Look at her, thinking she can even look halfway decent in that. I do hope they can deep clean that before someone buys it. Are they talking about us? You glare at the woman as they look and tore up and down, their lips curling in disdain.
They're talking about me, and you know why. Hey, if you got something to say it to my damn face.
Fine. We both know you don't belong here.
I belong wherever the hell I choose to be.
No, you belong in that backwater little slum you came from, so why don't you head back and take your stench with you?
Oh yeah, okay. Them's fighting words.
The only stench I smell is coming from your disgusting manners. Rep hisses at the women. Horrified, Nia steps between the two groups, but you walk around her right up to the noble woman. You know what? Take your unwanted opinion and shove it. I beg your... You step closer to the noblewoman's face, glaring straight into her eyes. Or go ahead and repeat what you just said, and see what happens then. Glower at the two noble women, who redden and look you up and down in a mixture of fury and apprehension. Ha! We won't be intimidated by this beastly behavior. So you should leave and take your beastly behavior with you. The two of them rush from the shop in a flurry of skirts, and Doran laughs slowly, and turns to you with wide eyes.
You sure sent them scurry?
If someone has a problem with my friends, they have a problem with me.
And that's why I'm glad I stuck around.
Dora puts the dress back on the rack as Nia looks on nervously. I'm so sorry, Amtora. I've never seen anyone act like this in Whitetower. It's because you're ignorant and you've literally sat in your ivory tower.
Have you run around town with orcs and small folk before?
Well, no, but this isn't what we're taught in the temple. Our values are kindness and compassion to all. Well, people play by their rules of polite society, but still carry hate in their hearts.
Even in Flotilla, we knew what everyone thought of us, and we knew to expect that if we ever were set on foot on land.
But expecting it doesn't make it any better. It shouldn't be this way. Oh, Nia, you're like me. That little part of me that still hopes for humanity. I don't know whether to pity that side of myself in you. Change takes time. And until then, all we can do is live fearlessly.
The Nesper shows his wise side. I'd drink to that.
Luckily, we're in the right place for that. Nia leads you across the courtyard to a large building, adorned with banners and signs, promising delicacies within. She flashes a winning smile at the guard at the entrance and leads the two of you inside, where you can see an all-you-can-eat cornucopia of desserts, exotic fruits, and artisanal drinks piled high on the platters.
How come this wasn't our first stop?
Because Nia wanted to show off her VIP status. I don't like to take advantage too much, but being a priestess does have some perks.
It certainly does! Oh, these all smell heavenly!
And Tora barks a laugh and walks up to one of the banquet tables, staring down at the desserts.
Do we eat these? They look confusing. What does a pink spiral taste like?
Oh gods, you're trying this right now. The greatest pastry in the land. Present it to him, Tora. And Tora takes it from you, turning it over curiously. The worst that'll happen is a sugar high. Now go on. And Tora takes a tentative bite, then her features light up in a surprised smile.
No wonder you people so happy all the time.
You like it?
I demand seconds.
No. You scoop up a few more pastries and hand them over, watching as some tourist scarfs them down like she hasn't eaten in a week.
That settles it. When I get back to Flotilla, we're focusing only on plundering bakers.
Or we teach your crew how to bake. And Torla laughs, swiping powdered sugar from her lips.
Best of both worlds.
Oh goodness, is that them? You turn to where Nee is pointing and see two noble women from the shop. Oh, for the love of this is never going to end well.
Oh, most unpleasant.
They haven't spotted us yet.
Which means we could have a bit of fun with them.
You're not suggesting...
If you're speaking of a prank, please ensure I'm in good spot to watch.
I think... Threp should unleash his inner actor. We both know you have a certain flair for the dramatic. Trickery can go a long way.
Oh, how devious. I do love to show off my talents.
You watch him with wonder as Threp shakes his wings and nestles them into his fur, protectively camouflaged.
Uh-oh. I think I know where this is going.
Threp saunters over the noble woman, playing his part perfectly as he butts against her legs.
Ow!
Oh, how adorable.
Where did you come from, little darling?
They bend down to pet him and Threp rears back with a hiss. Ew, get back, it's a monster! Threp darts away as the women keep screaming and crying, stumbling over each other as the crowd laughs. You were an absolute terror.
Many thanks. I haven't run that routine in many, many years.
No, that's my idea of a night out in the town.
I think that's our cue to leave. I know just the place. Quick. Laughing, you flee the building after Nee, leaving the nobles from their tortured chamber behind. You step into the quiet garden, enjoying the sight of the stars above and the Tower of Light shimmering like a beacon in the distance.
Ah, this is a perfect nightcap.
I thought I'd save the best for last. If the night market is the city's energy, this is its serenity, the water to its flame. It is beautiful.
It's something. Thanks for the tour, priestess. I didn't think this city'd be a place for me. But this right here, the cool night air, a little ale warming me up, my friends by my side, and I'm good here.
You continue walking through the gardens. You saw a little gazebo by a pond, surrounded by vines, lush flowers, and the moment is gentle and calm, and both of your companions glance at you. I could step away with one. No offense. Oh, this book is so hard. Really is. Be right back thinking. Okay. Everybody's like, Locum, who do you settle on? And I really like both. Oh, I've shown both sides of me. I like soft and I like firm. I go with Nee. It's really hard to pick. It really is. Walk with me, Nia? I'd love to. Rap goes off to explore with him Toro while you lead Nia to the gazebo. You lean on the railing and Nia steps up beside you as serene as ever. You seem happier than you've been in a while. I am. It's rather nice, isn't it? Sharing things you love with your friends. I just wish the night hadn't been marred by those nobles. I truly am sorry for their behavior. It's nothing to do with you, Nia. Even Riverbend has its issues, and I'd be the first to admit it. What matters is that you're going to make the city a better place. She nods resolutely, tightening her grip on the gazebo's railing. I'm trying my best, and I'll continue to try my best. I really, really want to make a difference. I know, and I have no doubt you'll be the one to inspire thousands. Thank you, Rain. Still, it's kind of fun thinking we've been scandalizing people. A priestess and a budding adventurer from a rundown town. Most wouldn't expect us to travel together. You're a fully fledged adventurer, Rain, and anyone with a clue would say the same thing I'd say. She tucks her hair behind her ear, smiling softly up at you. That the two of us make quite a lovely pair. Do you mean, though? I do. Then let's seal the deal with a kiss. I would like that very much. Always so polite. You gently pull Nia in for a kiss, grinning as she wastes no time, waving her arms over your shoulders. She holds on tight as you lean her backward, cradling her in your embrace. You're such a romantic. What can I say? I like kissing you. Then don't stop. You capture her lips again and again, savoring the moment and the way the light shimmers within her. After a few more minutes lingering together under the stars, you rejoin the others and head back to the palace. Sorry, we could have gave you more of a detailed making out scene, but it would cost you another 12 to 16 diamonds per moment. Your group reconvenes later that night with nothing but a long night ahead of you before the purification ritual. You lounge around the palace, but nobody seems relaxed. By the somber air. You all meet each other's eyes, and you see the same understanding reflected back at you. Well, this is it, the end of the road. I think we're all starting to realize what that means. If all goes well, the shards will be purified and Cade will be freed. But also, our quest will be complete. Our journey together concluded.
Nothing to keep us going back to our old lives.
Not all of us can return to what our lives were before. I spent centuries in that crystal! Isn't it obvious? You should go with Elfboy back to Undermount. Those snooty elves worship you.
But even Mal's grin feels strained. It is true my duties in Undermount are... But House Starfairy's honor is restored, but things must change in my homeland.
And I got a crew that won't wait around forever for their captain, as he's calling me back.
Don't know what's calling you, but there's always more loot to steal.
And I have the light to serve, but Rain, what will you do? I don't know. I still haven't processed that this adventure is over. I'm not ready to decide what's next. Nia nods, but her lip trembles. So then we'll be going our separate ways after tomorrow. This is our last night together.
Priestess, will you miss me?
I'll miss you all. I've never had friends before, true friends who have helped me discover who I am. You're all so important to me.
Aye. You're all damn fine group of land rats. Consider yourselves honorary crewmates on the Wraith.
Undermount's doors will be open to you as well, and you will be treated right there from now on. I have been truly honored to travel with all of you.
Yeah, even a scoundrel like me has learned a bit about honor from you guys.
I don't want us to split up. My whole life, I felt like I didn't quite belong. It took leaving Riverbend and throwing myself into danger with all of you to change that. It's not the places, it's the people that matter. And I feel like I fit with you guys, like I'm part of a whole, and I'll miss it.
The bittersweet sorrow of Journey's End. I, too, feel like its sting.
Somber silence fills the hall, and one by one your friends return to their rooms. As Tiro breezes past, he lets his fingers brush against you meet his eyes, seeing the sorrow and affection in his. Sleep well, Rain. You look down the hall at your friends' retreating forms, hearing their footsteps fade. This is your chance to spend an intimate night with someone special. I would just like to say real quick, while I'm thinking about this is very tough. This book gave us some good love interests, damn it. And I'm just gonna say it. Gave us some good ones. I mean, however, Pixelberry did make me feel for Mal. So I will go with Mal. You hurry to catch up with Mal, taking his hand and pulling him into a quiet alcove. Mal, wait. I think you should spend the night with me.
Oh, you think, do you?
I know you should. He chuckles, a devious glint in his eyes.
I thought you'd never ask. I know you haven't been able to stop thinking about me since the last kiss.
He traces a finger along his lower lip, grinning as he swallows. You and I know you've been desperate to get me alone again. Two of you may make your way back to your room. Inside, Mal turns to you with a smirk.
Nice place you got here.
I think you're more impressive to look at. He quirks an eyebrow, stepping closer, hands going to your waist.
I like when you're being nice to me.
You loop your arms around his neck, failing to hold back a smile. When am I not nice to you?
When you don't laugh at my jokes, that hurts, kid.
He rushes his lips against yours, your stomach flutters as you murmur your reply. You should tell better jokes then.
Nah, I know I'm plenty funny. You just like giving me a hard time.
He swipes his tongue along your lower lip, and you sigh and open your mouth to his. He kisses you slowly, like he's savoring the feel and taste of you. He presses you gently back against the door, and you thread your fingers into his hair, sighing his name against his lips. Mal. He breaks the kiss to rest his forehead against yours, his hand still warm on your sides, thumbs brushing your hip bones.
You really do things to me, kid. You know that?
What's that? Are you consumed by lust? So consumed by lust, say, that you can hardly think straight. He chuckles, leaning back to look you in your eyes. You've never seen his gaze look so soft before.
It's not just lust. Hasn't been just lust for a long, long time.
You lay your hands on his chest and slowly start walking him backward into the middle of the room. Now, Valori, you're one smooth talker.
Glad you think so. I try to pick the words I think will impress you the most.
So calculating too, but you know you don't have to try hard with me, right? His hands slide up your back, and the two of you still making slow progress across the room, grinning teasingly at each other.
I know you've built up this reputation. What else am I supposed to do?
Well... You brush your lips against his neck, feeling him swallow before he tips his head back. You could show me what kind of lover you are. His fingers tighten against your back, his voice lowering roughly.
You're just full of of the greatest ideas.
I have to impress you somehow, don't I? You kiss him again, and as your mouth moves against his, you feel him reaching between you to unclasp the strap, holding his shoulder pads in place. Hang on a second. You still his hands with a grin, and he raises an eyebrow. I think you, could use a hand. You've got so many straps, I wouldn't want you to get tangled up.
I feel like, you feeling like getting handsy with my straps, do you?
Especially when you put it that way. You fiddle with the buckle at his waist, give it a good yank, and the belt falls away, sending his daggers tumbling to the floor. Oops.
This dagger's been through worse, and I like it a little rough, besides.
Grinning, you undo the strap across his chest, and his shoulder armor falls away. You peel his gloves, leaving him in his tunic. You work your wet hands under the hem, grazing your palms up his chest as you lift his shirt. He raises his arms to let you pull his tunic off, and you smooth his hair down afterwards.
So attentive. We should do this more often.
Guess that means you'll have to stick with me once this is all over. You fiddle with the fastening of his trouser, smirking as he sucks in a deep breath.
You're making an appealing case.
He pushes pants off his hips, and he shimmies out of them, kicking them aside before straightening up smugly, letting you look him up and down.
I know, I'm a work of art. Admit that you're impressed.
I'll be more impressed when you help me out of mine. All too happy to oblige, Mal helps you out of your clothing, tossing them carelessly aside. Hey, you almost threw that into the fireplace.
But I didn't, did I?
Catches your hips, pulls you close, so close that your noses touch, that the brush of his lips and the shivers are you.
You're stunning.
And you're romantic at heart.
I think it's just you, that brings that out in me.
He stifles your laugh with a kiss, arms going around your waist to hold you against him. You run your hands up his back, feeling warm skin and firm muscles. You're saying I'm special? Kisses are trailed on your neck, his tongue pawed against your skin. You arch against him, and his hips press against yours needily.
God's reign. I want you, or whatever you offer me.
I'm all yours. He laughs breathlessly against your neck, a sound of delight.
The number of times I've imagined you saying that, and none of them get close to how good it actually sounded.
He takes your hips again, guiding you to the bed where he smoothly lays you down and crawls on top of you. You wrap your arms around his neck as he settles against you, kissing you deeply, languidly, the warm planes of his body fitting perfectly with yours. I want to know what else you've been imagining. He groans at that, lifting himself up to look at you, hands braced beside your head as his gaze is dark, glazed with wonder.
Part of me, that part of me's been wanting this for so long, doesn't know how patient I can be.
I'm like impatient. He chuckles richly, brushing the backs of his finger against your cheek, and trailing his fingertips slowly down your neck, your shoulder, your arm, leaving goosebumps behind.
Part of me wants to take this slow, learn every inch of your body, figure out every sound you can make.
He leans down just as slowly to brush his lips down your chest, beard scraping deliciously against your skin, his eyes never leaving yours.
Because in my head you make some incredible sounds, Rain. Like when I do this.
He sucks gently against your stomach and you gasp. Oh, on second thought, slow sounds fantastic. He chuckles, pressing his smile against your abdomen. He hooks a hand behind your knee, opening your leg and kissing up the inside of your thigh.
It does, doesn't it?
Tingles race through your body, erupting when he scrapes his teeth beside your kneecap. You lift your hips beseechingly.
But, you don't seem very patient, kid.
And whose fault is that?
You're right. I do like to rile you up.
He trails his mouth back down the inside of your thigh, grinning as your hands clench in the sheets, mirth glimmering in his eyes. You watch for as long as you can, but then he swipes his tongue against your eye, still locked on yours, and you throw your head back. His mouth works expertly, a molten heat that leaves you writhing, clutching at his head. He hums and it jolts through your body like electricity.
Mal.
You cry out as his mouth leaves you, only to cry out again when his hips slot between your thighs. You both moan in unison as he sinks into you.
God's reign, you feel amazing.
You arch against him, matching the pace he sets, slow at first, but the two of you quickly grow frantic.
Now I'm gonna... Yeah, kid, me too.
You cling to him, riding the waves of his powerful body as the two of you fall simultaneously over the edge into bliss. Later, Mal traces a finger slowly up and down your back as you hold him close.
You know, I think this is the longest I've ever stuck with one crew. And yet it feels like I met you just yesterday.
It's kind of amazing how quickly things can change.
Usually I'm itching to find adventures, new surroundings, but the more I spend with you, the harder it is to imagine its ending. I'm not used to this feeling, wanting a little more certainty. A home. Maybe someone to share it with.
Mal, family is everything. I'm trying to hold out hope that Cade will come back to me, but even the family I found along the way, I don't want to give them up.
It's nice to be able to rely on people, but it makes me feel vulnerable. Like the minute I stop watching my back, I'll get stabbed.
That's no way to live. If you can't trust other people, then how can they trust you? Mal sighs, sinking deeper into the mattress.
Maybe I'm just broken. Do you think I am, Rain?
Never. You trust me, don't you? Mal kisses your shoulder as he wraps his arms around your waist.
Rain?
He brushed his hair back from his face.
Yeah? Thank you. For showing me that I can trust people, that there is some good in the world still.
And thank you for seeing this through with us.
I wouldn't trade it in for all the gold in Undermountain.
He pressed a gentle kiss to his forehead, and, holding each other close, the two of you slowly drift off to sleep. The next morning you gather and head for the Temple of Light, where High Priest Soloran greets you.
Welcome, friends. We have concluded the preparations for the ritual.
The priest flares out a hand towards the dais, resting there's the fourth and final onyx shard.
Now then, if you could add the shards you've gathered.
Now just a minute. I don't think we've discussed payment here, your priestliness. Mal. Okay, we'll talk later. Delicately, Tyrrell pulls the shards out of his pack and lays them next to one another on the altar.
Thank you. Acolytes, you may proceed.
A cluster of acolytes turn a massive crank to one side of the temple chamber, and a panel in the floor begins to open. What's happening? Panel finishes sliding open, revealing a sunken pit beneath it. You peer over the ledge. Help us, please! Please let us go! Dozens of people sit at the bottom of the pit, chained together, looking up at you with tears in their eyes. Hey, priest, what is the meaning of this?
This is the energy source for the ritual, my dear.
Those are people. Hell of humans aren't my favorite lot. This is sick.
Those are common sinners, criminal scum.
Excuse me? To cleanse these shards would take a tremendous amount of light. Far more than any of us can offer and survive.
This was the dark secret we found in the ancient scrolls, lost even to the elves. To defeat the Shadow Court, the elves sacrificed themselves. Hundreds of thousands of them burning the very last of their light in the greatest act of magic the world has ever seen. They defeated the court, but at the cost of their civilization. A cost they willfully paid. Now, our purification ritual is far simpler, but it would take a great deal of light. These prisoners are our fuel. Everything has a price, after all.
The purification ritual has a terrible cost. Will you allow it to go on, or will you fight the Temple of Light? I have many things to say, but I won't say any of them today. Without further ado, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down screen below, links to social media, Discord. If you'd like to support me and my content, it'd be appreciated. Leave some comments, let me know what you think, the whole 9 yards, and catch you on the next video. Peace.